Hey everybody, Sean Hamlin with PremierGuitar.com at Summer NAMM 2012 in Nashville. We're talking to Craig at CEC Amplification, and we've got Shane playing the guitar for us. Shane, or Craig. The new amp is a Suckerpunch 15. Tell us about it.
Yep, actually it's a Mark II version of my original amp, but it's got some new features for the Mark II version, and it's essentially the newest revision of anything I've got. So. Anybody who's familiar with the original Mark I Suckerpunch 15 knows that it's great for cleans. It's a single channel amp that's great for cleans, but it also goes up to some, mid-gain distortion tones that sound really good.
And if people don't know your company, you're pretty much all about KT88 power tubes, right?
Yeah,
most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. I love KT88s. They're big sounding, not just big in size, but big sounding, and they have a great frequency response, and they just they get out of the way, and that's one of the things about CEC amps that make them a player's amp is they typically get out of the way. They don't make you sound like the amp. They allow what you're doing to come out more and be more pronounced. So they're very dynamic amps. The KT88s help a lot with that.
So the new things on the Mark II version are these two toggles over on the right?
Yeah, on the front panel we have these two switches, which are brand new for the Mark II. There's a gain level switch, pretty self-explanatory, more gain and less gain. There's also a voicing switch that'll take you from the standard Suckerpunch 15 voicing, the Mark I voicing, and to a voicing that's got a boosted mid-range. And the third feature, which is a pretty big one that's added in this revision, is a completely tube buffered effects loop on the back panel. It's got send and return level controls, and it's also got a toggle switch where you can turn it on or off. And when you turn it off, it's totally out of the circuit. So if anybody is not using the effects loop and they don't want to deal with it being in the circuit, they just turn it off and you have an amp without an effects loop.
Cool. Should we hear a few different samples?
Yeah, I'll take you from clean and we'll go all the way up to pretty good gain level.
Okay, so that was in standard voicing mode from the original Mark I, and then with the less gain toggle selected.
Exactly. So now we're gonna get up to a little bit of dirt in there, still in the less gain mode. And what I'm gonna do is while he's playing, he's gonna play something, a little bit bluesier. I'm gonna flick on the more gain at one point, and then I'm gonna flick on the mid boost at one point so you can kind of hear what's happening when you flick those switches on.
All right. So one thing I noticed there is that sounded quite a bit spongier, but that's partially because on the first sample we were hearing the middle pickup selection with both pickups. Shane switched to the neck pickup, so a little fatter, spongier, but those are...
also at these gain levels, the amp's very responsive to how you're actually playing the guitar. So you can back off with your fingers and it'll clean up really at this kind of gain level, and you can dig in and it'll break up more. We're about to turn it up a little bit higher here, where you're going to get more, more saturated distortion tone and get into that hard rock territory.
And I assume you're going to engage that sustain knob a bit there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's a good contrast.
Yeah, it's a very versatile amp. And what I'm going to do now is just flick on the effects loop. We've got a little delay pedal in the effects loop just to give you a taste of that too.
sounds really good, guys.
Thank you.
Craig, where can people go to find out more about it online?
CECamps.com is the website, and we have information on all our standard production amps on there, and also some information. We do custom stuff as well, so we have information on that as well.
Cool. Check out the Suckerpunch 15 Mark II from CEC Amplification online, and thanks for watching PremierGuitar.com.